2021, there were about 27.6 million people in the US who work from home. Are you one of them? Because I am. So this video is not really about working from home per se, but how working from home, at least for me, has helped me travel more in 2022. Even if you're not working from home, I feel like more and more employers nowadays are a little bit more open, or at least a little bit more flexible about work-life balance, especially after what happened in 2020. And I know you're going to take advantage of that after watching this video. So here are 3 ways related to work that can help you travel more in 2023. Keep in mind, I'm assuming that your employer is more open or at least a little bit more flexible about work-life balance. So the first way you can travel more in 2023 is to actually ask your supervisor if you can have flexible work hours or work schedule when needed. Let me give you a few examples. Not many employers actually observe Veterans Day in November, but the organization that I work for does. It usually falls in the second week of November, but if you know, there's actually another bigger holiday in November where I can actually stack up the holidays next to each other. Instead of taking Veterans Day off on the actual day, I would swap it out for the Friday after Thanksgiving so I can have a longer Thanksgiving break. Another example is when we're planning to go back to LA for the weekend. I don't really do this anymore. I usually just take the Friday off. But what I used to do is I would ask my supervisor if I can work half day on Friday. So I would get off at 12 to catch my flight in the afternoon. Instead of using 4 hours of my paid time off, I would ask my supervisor if I can just make up the hours throughout the week. And since I work from home, working an extra hour or 2 during the week, it's not that bad. Last example from my job, I promise. Instead of a Christmas holiday, we actually get a floating holiday every fiscal year. Not everyone actually celebrate Christmas and may not even need that holiday. So my job actually gives us a floating holiday so we can spend it as a holiday any way we want to. Obviously, most people just use that floating holiday on December 25th so they can actually have Christmas Day off. But for people who do not celebrate Christmas, they can actually use that floating holiday for any other holiday that they do celebrate. Before moving on to the next way you can travel more in 2023, if you have been following along this video and you find it to be helpful, please let me know by liking this video. And if you are looking for more travel tips and hacks just like this one, make sure to subscribe to my channel. The second way you can travel more in 2023, and I actually stole this idea from Ricky's work, is to have the 980 schedule. I'll go a little bit deeper about what the 980 schedule is, but basically you have every other Friday off. Do me a favor and let me know in the comment below if you or maybe someone you know have the 980 schedule, because this schedule will not just help you travel more, but it also will give you more flexibility to do other errands like going to the dentist or get an oil change. You can actually do these errands on your Friday off instead of taking half day or even take the whole day off to do these errands. Let me explain the 980 schedule in a way of a bi-weekly paycheck that consists of 2 weeks of work or 80 hours of work. And this is how Ricky's work does it, and maybe your employers or your friends' employers might do it differently. So on week 1, Ricky would work a 9-hour day from Monday to Thursday. He would clock in at 7:30 in the morning and he will be off at 5:30 p.m. with a 1-hour lunch. And on Friday, he's actually not off on the first week, but he will work an 8-hour day. So he would still clock in at 7:30 with an hour lunch and leave work at 4:30 p.m. If you add up all of his work hour on week 1, it will add up to 44 hours. Now on week 2, Ricky would still work a 9-hour day from Monday to Thursday. It's gonna be the same thing as week 1. He clocks in at 7:30, have a 1-hour lunch, and then he would leave work at 5:30 p.m. And the best part of week 2 is the Friday is actually his Friday off. If you add up all of his work hours for week 2, it will add up to 36 hours. There's also a couple other variations for something similar. I think it's called the 4-10 schedule. My aunt actually has this schedule where she would work a 10-hour day Monday to Thursday every single week, but she is off every single Friday. I mean, how awesome would that be to be off every single Friday? You can definitely use this to travel more. You can get away more often because you basically have long weekend every weekend. The third way you can travel more in 2023 is having the flexibility to have negative paid time off balance at work. In my opinion, all employers should let their employee owe a certain amount of paid time off every now and then. Before I go any further, I just want to clarify that PTO is paid time off. I realize that it might be called differently elsewhere. So let me know in the comment below, where do you live and what do you call paid time off from work? And what are the usual hours or day that you get every single year? I've heard in Germany you can get a minimum of 30 days every year, but here in the US, the standard is about 15 days. The reason why I think all employers should have more flexibility if someone needs to take more than 15 days of paid time off in a year is because sometimes you would travel more in 1 year, but then you travel less the next year. It's definitely a great perk for new potential employee to know that they can take more than 15 days of PTO per year if needed. It definitely helps with the first way that I mentioned earlier in the video of having a more flexible work schedule to promote work-life balance. And what if you just start a new job and you haven't accrued any PTO yet and there's an emergency that come up? Or what if someone already planned a vacation way in advance and happened to start a new job a few weeks before? If employers are not flexible with that, they might be losing out on a great person that could add a lot of value to their company. Now that I shared 3 work-related ways on how you can travel more in 2023, I hope you're able to apply some of these or all of these into your own lifestyle. And if you need more inspiration on how you can travel more in 2023, make sure you go check out these videos because I share a lot more travel tips and hacks on how I was able to be away for 41 days in 2022.